Ooh, man, oh man. So, the last thing I recorded was on a Monday, and it's amazing how fast these things hit, because that was just where I messed up one of my recordings, and I just was like, hey, I'm in the fucking Airbnb room. Here's the little update. Here's what I didn't record. Everything was fine. I sounded fine. I felt fine. But then I got hit by food poisoning later that night. And yeah, that was Monday. It's Wednesday now. I have not fucking moved in the last 2 days. I've just been in my little Airbnb room in the throes of death. I mean, I'll get into it more, but it really does feel like I'm traveling backward in time through how old I feel. Because at the height of how awful, I mean, I guess it's only been 2 days, but it's really, really bad. Just having these insane, terrible, fucking super migraines every time I woke up, and just a life of misery. And I remember thinking, like, I wonder if this is how my dad felt. Like, probably, right? Like, where he was just kind of drifting in and out of sleep. And he said food just tasted like metal to him. You know, they'd bring him like ice cream in the hospital, and he said you couldn't really taste it. It just tasted metallic. And yeah, just, you know, cancer treatments that didn't work. Just in pain all the time. You know, that's obviously super depressing. But I was thinking, like, geez, you know, I mean, that's how I feel right now. It's like, if I knew this was what life was going to be like from now on and it wasn't going to get better, I would want to be dead too. It's just like, what is the point of this? So awful. So that was the brink of death feeling. That was the you are whatever, 99.9999 years old. You're just like a second away from not existing anymore. Just blah. And then yesterday night, I managed to very slowly walk down the steps of my Airbnb and managed to go outside to the drink machines, because there's 2 drink machines out there, which I'll get into that too. But I mean, as awful as this has been, I was in the best possible place to have food poisoning, with the fancy Japanese toilet and no one else around and drink machines right outside the building. But yeah, that's where I felt like I was, like, you know, 90 years old. Just really slowly walking down the steps, one step at a time, barely able to move, just such intense pain. But managed to go outside and get some drinks from the drink machine and get back inside and slowly walk back upstairs and pass back out to not move anymore. Where today I feel like I'm about 70. Like, I managed to make it around the corner and up the stairs to the rose garden near my place. So I'm just slowly hobbling around the rose garden. I'm going to try to go do laundry. And that's my adventure for the day. But being 70 is so much better than being 90. You know? Being 90 and being 99.99 were about the same. It was all just terrible. But that I'm progressively getting better. Hopefully by tomorrow I'll feel like I'm in my 40s again and I can go do something. But yeah, just slowly walking up the stairs, and now I'm at the nice rose garden, and I'm like, how nice. Like, how nice that this is so near my place. Where they got the water thing going today. Nice, beautiful day. Get to look out at the view. And it's like, yeah, this is about it. This is about all that I'm going to do today. Hobble another few blocks to the fucking laundromat, and that's it. But yeah, it's an interesting feeling to fucking age in reverse. Totally unable to do fucking anything, to just barely able to walk down some stairs, to now like, you know, this isn't so terrible. At my 70-year age, I mean, I could go off and do stuff, theoretically, but it'd be a very bad idea. I'm still pretty incontinent. Even this is probably not a great idea, to go do laundry, but whatever. But, you know, maybe being 70 won't be so bad, because, you know, you just kind of reduce the scope of what you do in a day. If this was it, if this was all I could do, just come walk up some steps and go to a rose garden. Hopefully I live somewhere near a rose garden. So, you know, maybe I just hang out here and that's it. That's my day. That's my adventure. It's not so bad. However, being the 90-year-old version of myself that can't go anywhere, that's a lot less fun. And yeah, just being in the wake up every 2 or 3 hours with blinding headaches, that is I'm afraid there's no upside to that one. There's no way to put a good spin on that one. That is the one where you would rather be dead. That was a weird start to an episode, but it's been a weird couple days. Anyway, yeah, I'll yammer more about my sickness. Probably not today. I'll probably wait till tomorrow when I go do something. I looked up, what's it called? That really cool Enoshima, maybe? That really cool looking island that I saw from the beach. And it seems like a total tourist trap island. So, I don't know, I think I might go back to that same beach I was at. And just instead of walking west toward the sun, I'll walk east away from the sun toward that island. And then, I think maybe I'll go check it out. But definitely that island itself is not going to be the goal of the day, because it really doesn't seem like my thing. But I think walking there along the beach could be nice. But yeah, it's like literally there's escalators. You can spend an extra $2 or $3 to take escalators up the stairs to the shrine. Like, it is just tourist trappy to a bizarre degree. But the journey there should be nice, and then the place itself, we'll see. So hopefully I can do that tomorrow. And I'll tell you about the amazing adventure of being sick. I managed not to get sick this whole time. Like, I didn't catch a cold, which is still miraculous to me. Some of these places I've been, packed in with so many people, like, COVID must have been fucking stressful in this country, because you just turn the corner and all of a sudden there's just people everywhere. So I managed to avoid that. And again, trying to look at the upsides. If I'm going to get food poisoning and diarrhea, I got it a week before I'm leaving. I didn't get it right before I have to travel, which is what happened to me in 2019. And yeah, relatively speaking, is basically about 28 hours that I could barely move. That could be worse. But man, that 28 hours, that sure was bad. But anyway, yeah, I'll tell you about it, if you care, if you want to hear about that. But today I'm just going to soak in the rose garden and go do some laundry. Man, I really do love this neighborhood, this little neighborhood I'm in, near the bluffs in Yokohama. I found a laundromat with this machine. It's pretty common. This machine that it costs $10, which is kind of absurd. That is too much to do laundry and dry. But since I find these machines so difficult and confusing, and I got to pull out my phone and do Google Translate and all this shit, if I did sort out separate washers, dryers, get my own detergent, whatever, I could do laundry a lot cheaper. But this thing is so nice because you just put in all your stuff. It can take 10 kilograms. So I just threw everything that I could possibly, even my towels from my Airbnb that probably don't even need to be washed really, but I'm like, hey, why not? I got 10 kilograms of space in here. Just throw in every little thing. And you toss it in, you toss in your $10, you wait an hour, it washes, it dries, it does everything. And I just love it because $10 is worth it to not have to fight with the laundry machine. And yeah, when I was just up at that rose garden looking out over stuff, and then I just hobbled my way down the steps and then down these stone stairs down into this neighborhood and down through these little streets. And then the first laundromat, the one that I had set on my Google Maps, it was pretty small. It only had 3 machines and they were all being used. So I was like, God darn it. Let me try to find another one. So I found another one around the corner, and this one is called Books and Laundry. And it's even smaller. There's only one of these 10 kilogram machines, and then there's a 16 kilogram machine that costs $12 and some dryers. Really tiny, but nobody's here, just me. So even though it's essentially a one machine place, I think these really big ones are for futons, I'm not sure. But even though it's a one machine place, I'm the only one here, so that's fine. And it's still got the thing where you wash your sneakers. I think that's so cool. You find them all over Japan, and I've never seen that before. But it's so nice. It's got this nice, calm lighting. And the book part is just, there's just shelves with magazines and nice little stools, like a little wooden table, and you can just sit here and read magazines or whatever. Here's some manga. However, it's good that I didn't go on a bigger adventure today. I'm starting to feel a little better, but just felt a little rumbling in my gut in there. It's like I don't think I'm going to make it the whole hour. The only thing that place is missing is it doesn't have a washroom. A lot of the laundromats around here do. But I think I need to go look for a local washroom while I wait for my laundry. But of course there will be some. I know for sure there's some. I know where there's one not too close to where I am, but not too far. Oh man, and I mean, I haven't eaten anything in literally 2 days. I guess I should. I mean, it's a good sign, I guess, that my stomach it's not feeling hungry, but I really felt distinctly not hungry these last 2 days. Like, don't you dare fucking eat anything. Or surely if I just force myself to eat a little plain rice ball or something, it certainly wouldn't hurt. But it's just amazing that it's like 2 days and I just really don't feel hungry. What the heck? Oh man, I was a little worried too, because I literally threw everything in that washing machine, all my coats and jackets too, so I've only got a t-shirt on. I'm like, oh man, is it going to be a little chilly to try to venture out to a washroom? But no, it's actually super nice today. It's like ridiculously nice. Not quite t-shirt weather, but close enough. Yeah, man, I don't know, if you got to be trapped in a neighborhood for a day, I can't think of many better than this. I really love this neighborhood. All right, it's the next day. Last night I ate a nice plain rice ball and a plum rice ball and then one of those sandwiches that's like whipped cream and fucking different kinds of fruit or whatever. I haven't had one of those in ages, since Fukuoka. Figure that's pretty safe. But yeah, I got some food in me. It all went down pretty good. Woke up today feeling better. You know, I walked around actually quite a bit yesterday, so I think I was already getting quite a bit better. Today, feeling fine. But then once I really got up and started walking around, I did feel a little touch of just swimminess in the brain. I'm just like, oh, I think I'm okay, but... But anyway, I think that's good enough to go on a fucking adventure. Because, you know, being on the train, that's relatively safe, right? Here we go, stepping out of the Airbnb, out into the chill, brisk air of Yokohama. Actually, it's not too bad out. I checked the weather and it said it was only 5 degrees. But maybe it's gotten warmer, because that was an hour ago. Yeah, this is definitely above 5 degrees. And I figure, how dangerous is the train really? You know, there's washrooms on the trains and in the train station. And if anything did go horribly wrong, I could just get on the other train that's coming back this way and escape. Whew, man, it's still novel feeling to just walk at a normal pace and just not be afraid to move my head. I really can't believe how bad that shit was. But yeah, I'll give you the recap when I get somewhere else. But I think the plan is I'm just going to go back to that cool beach that I was at the other day. Nice brisk day on the beach, and then walk to Enoshima. And my expectations for Enoshima are pretty light, because it seems very touristy. But just going there and walking along the beach will be cool. And then I'm sure walking there will be cool in some capacity. I don't know. We'll see. The other place around there that looks really cool is Hakone Mountain. But it's a whole to-do. Like, it's quite a big, like a caldera. And to get around it, it seems like the best thing to do is like buy like a $60 rail pass that you can use to take like cable cars and a little pirate ship across the lake at one point. Like it's a whole kind of potentially 2-day journey to circle around this area. And it doesn't seem like you can really do it without that. Like it doesn't seem like you could just go walk. Maybe though, I don't know. The whole thing though seems a little confusing. Maybe a bit outside the scope of this trip to Japan since I'm winding down. I only got a few days left. But it seems potentially cool. Walking by a Lawson's, I just smelled that fried chicken smell. Oh, never again. Never again. All right, Ishikawacho Station. Man, that was a live walk. Like, man, this Airbnb I'm at is so awesome. It's right by the bluffs. It's right by a station. And I'm not going into Yokohama. I'm going away from Yokohama, so these trains are always nice and empty. And then whenever I'm ready to come back, every time I've done this so far, I've ended up on a train that's like a mega express that always just zips right back to Yokohama Station in like one go without stopping, because I'm always coming back at sundown. It's pretty fucking cool, man. It just really works out well. Okay, Negishi line for Ofuna. I'm pretty damn sure that's the right way, but I really should pull out my phone and make sure I know where I'm actually going. All right, train time. Just walked by a machine with some Tully's stuff in it, and I never did find another Tully's Gasada. Just that one can in that one store in Fukuoka. Never again. So this turned out kind of weird. So being sick did sort of reset my sleep schedule temporarily, so that's kind of nice. I actually woke up pretty early today. And it's such a short ride to get to the beach near Enoshima, especially from Yokohama. Apparently even from Tokyo it's not that bad. So yeah, I got there so quickly that I'm like, yeah, let's just keep going. I got all day. Let's explore a little farther on the fucking train line. So today I happened to get on the Atami line, but the for real one that really goes all the way to Atami. So I thought, all right, let's go check that out. And I'll just, I can make my way back up the coast from there. See what there is to see. On the way by, there were a couple other stations that stood out a bit as places that seemed cool to stop. But then as I went, it's still only 11 o'clock. But when I had this plan, it was nowhere near 11 o'clock. This is way too far. As I was going, I'm just feeling it in my bones. Like, this is too far. This is really far. This is a lot farther than I thought it was. This is like 2.5 times added to the journey. And there's a lot of pretty views out the window of the train, like a lot of really cool views of the water. But now that I'm at Atami, that sort of seems to be how it is in real life too. I'm looking out at the bay right now and it's fucking gorgeous. But there's a big fence between me and the water, and I don't actually know how to get down there. It looks like on Google Maps there's a little strip of beach that maybe I can get to. I don't know. This is kind of fucked. When I got here, I was kind of thinking maybe I should just hop back on a train and go directly back, because it just seems pretty obvious that this is not where I'm necessarily supposed to be. But I was like, fuck it, I'm here. Let's just go check it out. $13 train ride. This is a little much, because I'm looking at the map and I keep wanting to go even further. I'm like, just because from here you can go to here and then to here and then to here. And it's like, if I just went a little further from Atami, I could go down to this like peninsula. But I noticed that's where my pre-downloaded map of the area also ended. I can't even really tell what's going on down there. So that's another good sign to stop. Okay, I think I found a little side street. that has no sidewalk or anything, but somebody with a stroller came up it, so people do use this street to get places. And I think this is taking me to the beach. Oh, geez, what the fuck is this? There's just construction everywhere and fucking walls. I mean, to be fair, it's January or whatever. Anybody who would be visiting here would not be visiting here this time of year. Damn, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't even know how to get to the water. I think Atami might be, this might be a temporary stop before I just head back up the coast. Shit, yeah, now these steps are just going back up. This fucking blows. All right, I managed to make it down to the seaside. It took a little check-in because, yeah, that area when you first come out of the station, I'm looking at it now from the other side, and it's all very much looks very resorty type, hotel-y type places all in the way. And one of them in particular is being constructed, and it was not easy to get down here. But now I'm at Sun Beach or Sunshine Beach, I don't remember. And it seems like this might be about it around here, but it's all right, it's not bad. This doesn't seem like some kind of full day trip or something, but to just pop in and check out and then pop the heck out, I think this is all right. Kind of a nice little seaside town vibe as I walk down through the streets. There's some kind of cool shrine building, like one of those cool ancient looking buildings way up on a mountain. I don't know what the heck that is or how to get there, but I think that's beyond the scope of today. Yeah, I've just got this little beach thing that's like, I don't know, 4 blocks long, 5, 6, it's longish. A lot of boats down here, big marina. But it is a very nice day, nice little breeze. But I was kind of thinking, like, I just grabbed some nice, easy to digest rice balls from a 7-Eleven. And I was kind of thinking, like, why did I come this far? Like, right after being sick, you know? I had that feeling, that little flag of energy where it's like, oh, do I really? But yeah, I think I'm all right. I'll be fine. But I did have that brief little feeling in the gut of like, what are you doing here, you silly man? Kiunkaku, Kiunkaku, I believe. That's what I'm looking at. I mean, it's really high up. That mountain is super steep. And it's higher up than like the big ass hotel that's right next to it. But it's not far. I don't know, I guess I'll wander over in that direction. But it's like super cliffside, like way up there. I don't know. I don't know how the fuck you get up there, but all right, as I walk along this boardwalk next to all these boats towards some magical building in the sky on a beautiful sunny day, let me just tell you the tale of getting sick. So I guess it was Monday, the last proper podcast that I did. And I remember as I was coming home that day, I was pretty wiped, pretty exhausted. And it's this dumb thing of like, I don't know if you ever feel this way, but when you're tired, where it feels like work to eat. You know, like lately I have been eating a lot more just plain rice balls or plum rice balls, just really simple stuff that you really can't go wrong with. Even, yeah, just the salted plain rice ball is surprisingly a tasty thing. Or if it's not, it means you're not hungry enough, you know? Just wait till you're hungry and then basic food is delicious. But in this case, I don't know, I just was like, I was just exhausted to that level that I'm like, I just don't want to like have to sit there and work to eat food. I want to eat something that's easy to eat. And nothing is easier to eat than greasy fried food. You know, you just shovel it in your face. You're just like, it's compelling in a gross way. So I found a Lawson's on my way back. I stopped deliberately at a farther away stop so I'd have more chances to walk by a Lawson's that had the self-serve fried chicken. And then I found one that had 2 pieces left of like just the fried chicken breast that's like $2 each. These were their last 2 pieces. And this was who the heck knows what time. It was dark out, so maybe not super late, but not exactly early in the day. So who knows how long they've been sitting around. And I got those with 2 rice balls. So the idea would be take a bite of rice, take a bite of chicken. And, just kind of, so at least I'm not just eating greasy fried chicken, it's kind of mixed with rice. Shouldn't be as bad. And I looked this up because, just casting about in my time of pain that came later. Just out of curiosity, I did look up, does anyone have bad experiences with this fried chicken stuff in Japan? Because I also had kind of a bad time with chicken balls earlier at Lawson's, but that one wasn't as bad and was totally my fault because I didn't realize they needed to be reheated. But that one actually I got away with, more or less. And basically I found some Reddit discussions about does anyone else find it weird how long they leave stuff like fried chicken out in Japan? They just seem to leave this stuff out all day. Where in North America, it's a 2-hour time limit, and then you get the fuck rid of this stuff. And the replies were yeah, it does seem a little weird, but nobody really had any bad stories about it. And I mean, if someone had a bad story to tell, they fucking would on Reddit, they totally would. So it was this big long discussion that kind of came to the conclusion that maybe North America is being a little overly cautious about stuff. The Japanese method doesn't seem to be unsafe. And then there were even some conspiracy theorists saying that maybe the North American method was to try to run smaller food sellers out of the market because only big major corporations can keep up with this need to constantly refresh food all day, every day. So who knows? It seems like I just got unlucky. I don't think you really need to worry about fried chicken in Japan. It does not seem like this is a common thing. I think I just got really unlucky. But I ate these 2 pieces of chicken, and they were gross. I mean, that's a good enough reason not to do it, I suppose. It's just I've never had this fried chicken in Japan and had a good time with it. It's always disgusting, but it's just, fried food. We're just a gross bunch of grossies that just like that shit. So then that night, I got hit with pretty bad insomnia, which was frustrating. Because I wanted to just spring up the next day and come do something like this, come on another weird adventure down the coast. And as 2 a.m. hit and then 3 a.m. hit, and I was getting pretty frustrated at my own body, and I was just having to just kind of give up stuff of okay, never mind, that's not going to happen. Recalibrate the plans for tomorrow, you're just not going to do it, whatever. And I don't know if that was just It's the first time I've actually heard a boat making noise around here. And this is weird too, as I approach this crazy building, there's on Google Maps, it doesn't look hard to get to because there's streets everywhere. But since this is not an elevation related map, it's yeah, there's streets everywhere, but the thing is fucking 200 feet in the sky. I do not think I can get there on foot. Yeah, I don't even know if there's much point in walking any closer. I'll look it up later. In fact, I think I've already seen what there is to see of Atami. I'm at the edge of the beach. There's a water park here with slides, a lot of resorts. It seems like this is a place to catch boats, is mainly what this is. Yeah, as usual, I mean, just the mountains, so beautiful. Yeah, there's a lot of hotels around here, but now there's hotels that, instead of small residential buildings cascading up the side of the mountains like they do in Fukuoka and stuff, here it's hotels. There's a hotel halfway up the mountain, and then there's another hotel 3/4 of the way up the mountain. I bet the views are really good from there. It's pretty, but yeah, I can't say I would recommend coming to Atami Station. It's another classic, if you happen to be around here, it's pretty cool, but weird thing to travel to, but just had to try it once. But anyway, this insomnia, I don't know if it was related to me being sick or if it was just bad luck that they both happened together. But it might have been that my body knew something bad was coming, and that's why I couldn't sleep. I really don't know. But I felt totally fine, even through the insomnia, till all of a sudden, I had to go to the bathroom and it was just water that came out of my butt. But somehow I just was still like, oh well, whatever, that was weird. Let's go to bed. And then just as I was starting to drift off to sleep, I had to go to the bathroom again, like not long after. And I still was like too stupid to realize what was happening, what I was in the throes of, possibly because I was sleepy. It makes it worse, makes your thoughts processes, not work as well. I was a little frustrated again. I'm like, God damn, I was just about to fall asleep and now I got to go back to the washroom. And that time it was evacuate soul, was just every bit of liquid that could possibly leave my body through my butt did. And then, that's scatological enough, right? No need for excessive details. But it just went on and on and on and on and on. Let's try to look at the upside. So the upside is I was in the best possible scenario to have diarrhea that I've ever been in my entire life. So I'm in this little room, but it's a very nice little room with very comfy futon setup. Everything in the room was nice. There's a heater in the room where you can individually change the temperature of just that one room, which I've never had before when I'm sick, and that turned out to be very handy. No one else was in the whole place, so no one was around to hear my grunts and groans, because one thing I've learned, I also learned this when I was hungover in Chiba, as I get older, I have a much harder time suffering in silence. As things got worse and worse, I'm like audibly moaning and groaning and occasionally swearing and just like unbelieving that life is this bad. Where I used to be able to do that quietly, now it's just like, ugh, fuck. So no one could hear all that stuff. And just outside my room, one step outside the room, turn to the left, immediate washroom. The washroom has the heated toilet seat, the bidet function, everything you could possibly want from a Japanese toilet. And I didn't need it, but I did have some times of feeling nauseous where I was a little like feeling like I could possibly throw up and was wondering if that would help and should I make myself throw up, but it never came to that. But there was also a little sink. It was a very tiny bathroom that only had a toilet in it, but there was a little sink in the bathroom that you literally could just lean over and throw up in if you had to. It was fucking perfect for all that stuff. And then later, when I finally managed to hobble downstairs and get some drinks, right outside of the door, one right outside and one across the alley, were 2 drink machines. So it was the best ever scenario. If you ever need to have diarrhea, man, I can't recommend a fucking Japanese Airbnb more. It is the best. Like, despite the fact that I just had water poops minimum every 2 hours, usually more often, for the next fucking 28 or 30 hours or something, my butt has never been cleaner in my life. Like, normally in these horrible situations in North America, first off, the temperature is touch and go in your house. You're not going to be able to perfectly align everything to what you need at that moment. And you just get grosser and grosser till you eventually can summon the wherewithal to take a shower. Where in this case, every single time, I just used the bidet. And it was just like immediately cleaning everything every time. Eventually, I did have to turn the water pressure down from medium to low because I was just having so much time on the toilet that it was starting to hurt my butt a little. It was getting minorly sensitive. And that's it. So that was great. All right, I'm gonna start heading back up the hill, back toward the station, because I saw Sun Beach. I guess we're done here. I don't quite know where to go, but just walking between these rows of buildings up toward the mountains and toward all the cool resort buildings and stuff. I assume if I just go up the hill, I'll get more or less where I need to go, and I can figure it out from there. So yeah, the temperature thing was pretty interesting because being sick, it really flip-flops my body upside down. Where normally I always want to be cold. I want to set things as cold as I can because I just very easily sweat. So I don't like that. But then when I'm sick, then I get the cold sweats. Like I remember when I was sick in Amsterdam, I had all of my blankets piled up on top of me. But that house was cold, which normally would be good, but I was cold sweating under my blankets. So in this case, in the Japanese room, I was in a very similar situation And I only had to turn the heat up a little. From 14 degrees is the lowest it can go, Celsius. I only turned it up to 16, but it was enough to just keep my body temperature at the point that it needed to be at that point to stop me from sweating. So weird, like being cold would give me these weird cold sweats, but being hotter like that, which normally would be killing me because I was also wearing all my blankets and like my big fluffy hoodie under all my blankets, I would be sweating to death normally. But in this case, it was perfect. It was keeping me from sweating. It was like the perfect temperature. I'm really trying to put the fucking put the like rose-colored glasses, the rose-colored tint on this. But I mean, it really was. Now that it's over, I mean, any other situation would have been worse. This was the perfect situation to be sick like this. And the diarrhea part was annoying because, you know, I kept having to wake up over and over and over, so I couldn't really sleep. But again, with the bidet and everything, it wasn't the worst part. The worst part was this headache developed, and it was just the headache from fucking hell. And I got to assume it's a combination of just whatever sickness I had was making me have a headache, and dehydration, and not sleeping, and probably eventually caffeine withdrawal added to it. But it was so bad, and it hit so hard and so fast, I could barely move. Like getting up to go to the bathroom was very difficult. So I couldn't even hobble my way downstairs to buy some electrolyte drinks and stuff for over 24 hours. You know, it was just brutal. Now I'm on kind of a little shopping street on the way back up, but you can really tell this is probably not the most popular seaside town in the world anyway, and definitely not now, even though the weather's insane, but just it being January, because at least half of these stores are just shuttered, just closed down, probably more than half. But yeah, I mean, again, besides resorts and ships leaving, there really does not seem to be a ton here. Unless I'm missing something. It must be tough too in a way. I mean, every place can't be a tourist haven, you know? I mean, every place in Japan kind of is in a way. You really got a lot of competition. I'm only here because this happened to be the end of the line on the subway, you know? So anyway, that's kind of glossing over just, 24 straight hours of insane misery, but there's nothing else to say about it. That's all it was just insane misery, where I could never sleep. My headache was so bad I could barely move. My brain was just whacked out. For some reason, I was thinking I was like 3 versions of myself, and I was keeping track of all 3, and they each had different things that were going wrong, or different like status ailments if this was a video game. And then once in a while I would remember, like, there's not 3 of me, there's only 1 of me. Like, that's how fucked up it was getting. It was really weird. Really stupid songs would get stuck in my head and just play endlessly forever. And yeah, I was trying to, I guess I wasn't even trying so much. I did have water at my disposal. I wasn't really trying that hard to drink water at first because my body was just like, don't do anything. Don't eat, don't do nothing. That was probably a mistake. I should have tried to force myself to drink water. But I guess I was also under the hope that I'd be able to sleep longer if I had to go to the washroom less. Which is kind of true, but not because I kept waking up anyway, I don't know. But anyway, eventually I hobbled downstairs and I bought some bottles of that electrolyte type shit just because, you know, easier to drink than water. Because it really was quite hard to force water down into my gut. And I also got this little, I noticed one of the machines had like the warm chocolate milk. You know, I bought the chocolate milk and it wasn't actually that great and it didn't help that much. But just the notion that it was there. Oh, it's 12 o'clock. That's what that chime is. It's nice to have a chime where I can immediately actually tell what it is. But yeah, just the mere fact that there was warm chocolate milk available from the machine outside my door theoretically made me feel better, you know? It didn't actually make me feel better at all. But the notion that that was a thing available to me somewhere deep down kind of helped. So then I really started fighting to drink liquids because I assumed this headache must have been dehydration based. So I really forced myself to drink a bunch of liquids, and unfortunately, because my body, I have a small bladder and my metabolism's really fast, and I just process liquids like crazy. That's why I'm always looking for washrooms and stuff. And it's no different in this situation. Even though I clearly needed the moisture and I needed the liquid, it's like my body is so fucking stupid that it's still just like, oh, liquids, eh? All right, process. 20 minutes later, pee that all out, please. It's like, don't we need that? Don't we need that liquid for something else? But it just made me have to pee all the time, which made it even harder to sleep and more miserable. But I managed to get all the liquids down. And that's where, I mean, obviously dehydration was part of it, but I don't know how much because it just didn't help. This headache was so fucking intense and it just wouldn't stop that I started looking that up. Like, how long is a dehydration headache supposed to last for? And the thing I found was like, once normal hydration is resumed, it should only last for 1 to 3 more hours. And it's like, but it's over 12 hours later than that now. And it's still hurting so bad that I can barely move. Like, that's the point where instead of just being miserable and adrift in the cosmos, that's where I started getting angry. Where I was just like, what the fuck is wrong with you, my body? What do you think you're trying to accomplish here? I'm doing everything I can do for you. I'm going to the washroom immediately every time you want me to. I'm fucking sleeping as much as possible. All I'm doing is lying here with my fucking eyes closed. It's all I've been doing for 2 days. I drank a bunch of liquids. There is just no value to this level of headache. What are you trying to warn me about? What do you think you're getting out of this? Like, I couldn't believe how much it hurt. And it's just like, what am I supposed to do? I've never had like painkillers do less. I think through the course of this, I took like 3 aspirin or whatever, Tylenols, whatever I've got. They just did nothing. But it's just like, oh, I could not believe the pain. The pain of the headache was way worse than the diarrhea. The diarrhea made it so I had to stay home, but the headache made it so I couldn't fucking stand up or move or do anything. And anyway, then it just eventually, about 12 hours after that, it's probably less than a full 48 hours, but it's like a full day and a half probably before I kind of felt like things were at least manageable. It was like the level of headache that you can just deal with and go on with your day. You know, it wasn't just totally fucking insane. And I don't know that the solid poops have actually come back at all yet, but at least the frequency has reduced greatly. And yeah, I think again, just terrible luck, but that's the end of my fried chicken adventures. Never again, never again. I'm just the unluckiest man in the world, but I mean, it was gross anyway. I can't believe I went through all that for something that was so disgusting in the first place. So yeah, that's my tale of being trapped in the same tiny room for 2 days. Again, it is amazing how fast, well, even at the time, I was gonna say it's amazing how fast you can start looking more fondly upon these things, even at the time, even in the throes of this. Like, I was still appreciative of the scenario because I was just thinking of like when I got food poisoning in Toronto and I had a creepy basement apartment that was all chilly and cold and my bathroom was really far away, and just, that was way worse. Or being sick in Amsterdam. That toilet was on a different floor of some stranger's house. It was way worse. The bidet thing, man, it's worth, I think that YouTuber Dogan, that was one of the jokes that he made once, was some people don't want to get the washlet attachment for their toilets when they move to Japan because it is quite expensive. But you just wait till you get food poisoning the first time and it'll pay for itself. And he is fucking right. Man, he is right. Like, I mean, like, it was bad enough, let's just get slightly gross for a sec. It was bad enough that even with my vigilance, I went through 3 pairs of underwear during this, because just like a weird drop of mystery moisture would be on my fucking underwear, and I'm like, I don't even know what that is, but I don't trust it. Change pants, change underpants. And I don't know, because I'm so weirdly like, I don't want fucking Airbnbers to have to do extra work because of me. Like, I'm kind of proud of how many of my Airbnb reviews here in Japan have mentioned that I take care of my own garbage. they think that's just the best. Because yeah, I never leave garbage in the communal places. If they have a garbage can in here, I don't use it. I just take my garbage with me and I deal with it myself. So similarly, there's a lady who comes in to clean, which I was so thankful she didn't come in that day. Thank God. Because they do clean excessively. Even if I'm the only one there, they're there almost every day to clean. But I wanted to make sure there was no evidence of what had happened here. And then I thought, oh, I should check the underside of the toilet seat. And sure enough, just there had been a bunch of mystery brown splashback that was like kind of splattered all over. And I'm like, holy God, gross. So I scrubbed it all off. I don't want anyone to be aware of the horrors they put their equipment through. The only thing maybe, I wonder if she maybe noticed, like, how did this guy go through half a roll of toilet paper in the land of bidets? Because that's like the North American equivalent of like 4 rolls. That's insane. But I'm sure she didn't notice. That would be a weird thing to notice. But yeah, I guess that's so, try not to get food poisoning. I really don't think, what stupid advice. Obviously try not to get food poisoning. I really don't think that the chicken I don't think this means you shouldn't eat the chicken. I think I'm just unlucky, but I'm not going to eat the chicken anymore because it sucks anyway. And, but if you are going to get food poisoning, try to do it in Japan, I guess. That's what I would say. Because yeah, oh man. Ever since I came here, every other toilet has been just like a piece of garbage ever since. Like, why? Why are our toilets so lame? But dude, times like this, you realize it's not just, ooh, I'm so fancy, I'm Mr. Fancy Butt, I need a fucking washlet attachment on my fucking toilet. You really do need this shit. When things go wrong, a normal toilet is not enough. You'll be scraping your butt raw with toilet paper. It would have just been so much worse. Like, ever since I visited here, it very much, because I was always like curious about bidets, I didn't quite get it, It's one of those things that's a little hard to understand till you try it. And then once I tried it, I was very much on the bidet side. I'm like, oh yeah, that is just much nicer. The classic thing people bring up, but it's absolutely true. If a bird poops on your arm, you're not just gonna wipe that off with a napkin. You're not just gonna use dry paper to wipe it off. You're gonna get some fucking water at the minimum. So why is it okay with your butthole? Why is that okay? And the answer, it's not a trick question. The answer is it's not okay. But this has pushed me forward to full evangelism. Those people that really go out of their way to ship a Japanese toilet to their house in North America and go through the expense of having it set up, I am on your side. You're doing the right thing. You gotta have this thing. You need to have it to be a civilized person. And the fact that we have literal hundreds of millions of people who are this uncivilized is fucking ridiculous. Come on, dude. It's the modern world. Because yeah, it really, pardon the pun, man, it saved my butt. It saved my fucking stinging asshole. All right, I think I'm getting close to the station. This is looking a little familiar. Let's hop on a Tommy station and head back up the coast and go somewhere else. All right, I want to give Atami a couple extra recommendation points on my way out, because I left and I walked straight forward from the station, and that's what kind of messed me up. That's what led to me not being able to get to the water and getting kind of stuck behind a bunch of construction and walls and stuff. I can see how I missed this because it's not super easy to tell from this side, but if you hang a right, go all the way right, there's one of those shopping streets that's like, covered over so that if it's rainy, you can still go there. And it's pretty long and it's really cool. It's like got There was one lady who was just selling fresh fish, like that it was just like splayed open and on sale, and you could really tell it was like super fresh. Like maybe her husband just went fishing at the crack of dawn this morning and now she's selling the fish on the street. And it's like, man, that's just kind of cool. That is a lot more just like the kind of down to earth, almost the time warp back to the past that you just don't see all that often, even in Japan. But then if you walk down through there, it immediately takes you to the street that funnels down to the beach. So you won't get lost like I got lost. No, there's a bus for Atami Bay Resort. Yeah, I mean, still the resorts and the cruise ships are clearly what's going on around here. But if you did want to stop by and just check out the beach real quick and just see I mean, if you don't want to see tourists, this is where you come. Get out of here, whiteface. I've seen nobody all day. I saw 2 black guys on the train, but they didn't make it this far. Yeah, out here, I am a one of one for sure. So if that's what you're in the mood for, yeah, just hang all the way right when you leave the station. Odawara Yamuju is what the street is called. And yeah, that was nice. That was a really cool shopping street. I just like those shopping streets. They're just cool. All right, next random station of the day is Kozu Station, K-O-Z-U. I noticed this one on the way by because there's a whole bunch of really good views of the bay. Just looking out the window on this particular train ride is not the worst thing you could do. But this one was the closest that the train got to the water. The water seemed to be right there. So I thought, cool, I'll hop off there. But looks can be deceiving. I'm in the same exact position where if there's a way to get to the water, I do not know what it is. So I'm just walking down the main stretch, the main drag, and hopefully a path reveals itself. Man, though, maybe I should check the map because it very much seems like they're deliberately trying to not guide one to the water. What do we got here? Blend Park and the Kozu Coast. Okay, there must be something coming up here. But as we were leaving the station, there was an old lady with a wheelie bag who had to get it down some stairs. A lot of these stations are pretty accessible. That's generally not a big problem in Japan. But this one, not a very big station, but no ramps. Oh, here we go. Here's a little side alley between some houses. I'm just going to take this. Even if it doesn't work, it'll at least get me off the main street. Ah, just how it instantly becomes quiet and idyllic the second you get off the street. So yeah, I just asked the old lady if she needed any help getting her bag down these steps. And of course, actual communication was 0, so I just did it. I'm like, whatever, so let me take your bag. And then down the steps, down a long-ass hallway. Then we had to go up some more steps. And the whole time she was insisting that I put it down, but it really didn't feel like put it down. It was just that like, oh no, please, you don't have to put yourself out type of thing. Although she did it so much that I was like, just in case. Afterward, I did do a little I Spy with my little eye from across the street, just to make sure she actually was leaving the station. Like, I didn't take her to the wrong spot, did I? Was she just trying to transfer? You know, I kind of pointed to make sure I was going in the right direction. And she just kept saying like, oh, put it down, put it down. So I was like, I hope she wasn't trying to transfer and I actually took her to the wrong spot. But no, she was leaving the station. All right, now I've come out on an extremely ugly road in front of an extremely ugly concrete wall near construction sounds. Of course, why wouldn't there be? I don't even see who's doing the construction. I just hear the noise. This is exactly like last time, it's just smaller. Anyway, no, she was just polite to a fault, and it was like by the time I brought her bag up to the final spot, and I mean it was heavy for an old lady. This lady was like 4'3", you know, but it wasn't heavy for me. It was fine. I do think she kind of needed the help a little, or at least I think it was helpful. But yeah, she was so apologetic. I mean, there were like practically tears in her eyes at the end of just like bowing and thanking me. And it's like, lady, lady, you need to calm down a little bit. This is not a big deal. All right, I found an opening in the ugly seawall, and I can see the shore now. I'm underneath. There's like a big elevated highway, and then the shore is right next to that. So this is weird. This is cool. I mean, I'm on a beach. The shoreline is right here, but there is a giant hellish overpass right above me. So this is a strange mix of pretty and ugly. But at least I made it to the water. Oh, is that a person? I see a splotch of red. There we go, it moved. It's like either that's a person or it's one of those Buddha statues that they put a little red hat on, a little knit cap. And there's some people down the shore the other way. All right, cool. So this worked. I made it to the shore. Not the prettiest shore in the world, but at least it's unobstructed. I can walk along it probably to the next station. But anyway, yeah, this old lady, just beside herself with the thanking. And then she gave me, it's like a little package of, oh, I guess it says 2 times 5. So 5 packages, each with 2 rice crackers that have like, it looks like icing on them. So it's like, yeah, okay, thank you. I happily accepted them and I will eat the fuck out of them. I apologize to whatever grandkids these were probably going to. Some random gangly foreigner who would not stop helping your grandmother is eating them instead. So, oh, this is actually kind of nice now that I'm down here. It really is kind of weird. Like, it's picturesque and ugly at the same time. The shoreline is beautiful. There's hardly anyone here, but the big elevated highway is right next to me. But there's a nice test. A big truck just went by, and I couldn't really hear it. The sound of the ocean is outdoing the sound of the traffic. So, I mean, yeah, this could be worse. And it looks like it gets to be very rocky if I walk west toward the sun. Good excuse to walk away from the sun. So yeah, this is weird. I feel like this is a whole day of like, not the worst thing you could be doing, sort of interesting, but not like things I would recommend. Whoa, big wave, fuck you wave, almost got me. So yeah, I'm just gonna walk along this beach, I guess, to at least the next station, and I'm gonna eat these Obasan treats. Yeah, that's one of those things is like, if I tried to deny the treats, then it's even more awkward. Then it's just everybody constantly telling each other not to help each other. It's like easier just to accept them. And I want to eat these. I'm like, yeah, I'll fucking eat those. Hell right I will. Thank you. Man, that is one thing. This is such a strange stretch of beach. It's all rocky as well. And I only see 3 people between me and disappearing into the distance. But since this is such a kind of strange isolated rock beach next to the highway, no drink machines, but it would be very funny if there was just one, like a drink machine and maybe an ice cream machine if they were just down here. That would be pretty great. But that's too much even for Japan. You know, I was thinking too, possibly an odd thought to have in general and a specifically odd thought to have about an old lady. But there are a lot of people in Japan that are very short, under 5 feet, a lot of women specifically. And Japan is semi-famous for how lax they are in their artistic works about representing very small people. You know, it's not hard to find comic books and even live-action porn movies where it's very clear that these characters are not all the way grown up. And it's pretty unique to Japan, and I think fairly creepy to most of the world. But I was kind of thinking too, I mean, like, if nobody in Japan enjoyed tiny people, this is awful, I shouldn't even be talking about this, but this country would be in trouble if nobody wanted to get married to a very tiny person. I mean, that's just, it's a weird thought, but it's gotta, I mean, it's sort of, there's some really small people. like way smaller than you'd ever see in North America. Although on the other hand, I saw a schoolgirl the other day that was almost as tall as me. So I mean, hey, who the fuck knows? It's all, I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's just stop talking about this. Hey, there's a fourth person. This is turning into fucking beach party down here. All right, I passed one more person, a fisherman, and that was it. So this is the step up. You could go to a Tommy station if you want to be the only foreigner for the day. And you could come to Kozu station if you want to be the only person. If you just want to walk somewhere in the environs roughly of Tokyo, within a day trip of Tokyo, and you just don't want to see any people. Not an easy thing to do necessarily, but I found the place. The shoreline of Kozu, and it's kind of a long walk to the next station, although there is an officially named beach on the way. So maybe it'll become more traditionally beachy, we'll see. It must be weird, like the choices you've got to make as a city developer, where initially it probably makes a lot of sense to have a highway out here by the beach because it keeps it away from the people in the middle of the city. But in the longer term, you've kind of fucked your beach you've effed it in the A. Fucked it in the ass is what that means. Probably not the best choice in the longer term. But you know, it's still not the worst, it's okay. Those rice crackers from the grandma were fucking delicious. They're like salty. They're quite large. Each one was like, I don't know, the size of a tangerine, but flat, a flat disc. And they were salty, but then sweet. Salty on one side, sweet on the other. I ate all 10 of them, just yum, yum, yum. Fucking delicious. I wish I could send a little message back to her and just be like, I ate them all, and they're fucking real good. Again, apologies to the kids who didn't get to eat them, but I loved them. But as we're walking along the beach with the crashing waves, let's do a little beach philosophy. In my own inimitable nerd way. I was listening to a podcast about Magic the Gathering just now. And the most popular way to play Magic the Gathering is this format called Commander with 4 players. So it's kind of weird because there's 4 players, it's not one-on-one. It's more like a party game than a competitive game. One-on-one, you just try to beat the other person, that's it. When you play 4-player, it gets a lot weirder because there's 30 years worth of Magic cards. You can really make some degenerate decks that do crazy, unfun stuff. Because, you know, cards combine in ways that no one could have foreseen. You know, there's like, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of Magic cards. So there's like social rules that don't normally apply. Where you're not just trying to make the strongest deck, you're trying to make a fun deck. You're trying to make a cool, fun deck that will still win sometimes, but the idea is for everybody to have fun. So it's weirdly contentious because how do you define that? How do you figure out how to do that? And one guy on this podcast I was listening to, he said something that I thought was so great because it kind of applies to life. It's a great life philosophy. He said the best way to approach a 4-player game of Magic the Gathering is play to get invited back. You know, not only don't make a deck that just has all of the strongest, most expensive cards that'll just stomp everyone into the dirt, but even just in your attitude, especially in a 4-player game, if you win a quarter of the time, you're doing fine. It's easy to get upset. It's easy to get a little salty about losing. So just play to get invited back. Play with the idea of, I want these people to invite me to game night next week. And I was thinking how great of a philosophy that is just for all things. Approach life like you're trying to get invited back. It's one of these things you need to be self-policing about because there's so many facets of modern life where you do not need to be invited back. You can leave a dickish comment on the internet and nothing bad will happen to you. You don't need to be invited back. You can do whatever you want. I can act however I want in Japan, and unless I'm a real dick about it, I can still come back. I don't need to be invited back. But it's good to think of it that way. Like if if I did need to be invited back, would I be? So that's why I cleaned the toilet after I had a horrible sickness spree at my Airbnb. That's why I helped the old lady with her bag. One of the wrappers for the rice cake she gave me, I dropped one. And again, there's nobody on this beach. Oh, there's some construction guys. There's almost nobody on this beach. I could have let it go. No one on earth would ever have noticed. But I went back, ran down the beach in the wind, like, oh, gotta grab that before it disappears, to pick it up. Because I want, if someone could scan everything I did while I was here, I want them to say, yeah, we'll invite that guy back. Again, there's no need for that. That's not how things work. But I thought that was such a good idea. Like if you're on a date with somebody, just act like you're trying to get invited back. I can't think of like a situation where that isn't applicable. That's just a good philosophy for life. I don't know, I thought that seemed appropriate to the situation, It's a bit deep. I got the big ocean next to me, got the waves, let's get a little deep. But also I'm just next to a big highway, so let's also keep it kind of shallow and stupid and talk about Magic the Gathering and podcasts and internet comments. That's the line I'm trying to walk here. Also, I just have a really long ways to go until the next station. I've started to realize I'm basically better. But it's like while I'm out here running away from waves whenever they get a little too close to me, this is where I feel fine. But once I was sitting on the train, that's when I started realizing like it's that kind of, when it's a warm sunny day and you just are energized by the day, or it's like just the pure niceness of the day is holding you up like a puppet on strings. That's a little bit how I feel. Deep down in me, my energy wells are not at their normal levels. So again, probably shouldn't be traveling as far as I can go on the train. I probably shouldn't be walking to this next station for no fucking reason. But on the other hand, the human body can be pushed a lot fucking further than you ever suspect. And really all I'm doing is sitting on a train all day and then walking down a beach. It's not like I'm turning a big crank. What is the next station, by the way? Let's see. Man, it's sunny enough that it's hard to fucking read on my phone. I'm almost halfway there already. Ninomiya Beach is coming up, although from the looks of things, it's more or less just more of this. In fact, the only thing I see ahead of me is a backhoe in the deep distance. That's what that's called, right? The arm that digs into the sand. And at Ninomiya Station, I'm gonna get back on this bitch. Oh, maybe though, the other station that stood out to me, there was Kozu, but there was also Oiso. And actually, if I just keep walking, Oiso's the next fucking station. So we'll see. If there seems to be any reason to keep walking, maybe I'll keep walking. It doesn't really matter if I don't get to the Enoshima thing today because I don't really care if I go or not. And it is really easy to get to, especially from Yokohama. So who knows, maybe this is all I'll do all day. Just walk down the dang beach. Walk down the dang beach, bruv. Although, man, I could use a coffee. That would not hurt at all. That would not hurt even a little. So man, play to get invited back. I like that. That's real good. All right, I stepped off of the beach because I felt a little rumbling in my gut, and I was like, oh yeah, this beach really is absolutely empty. I should probably get off of here, at least for a bit, till I find a washroom. So I'm in Ninomiya town, and it's kind of a nice little walk, nice little stroll through fucking Nowheresville. And but man, I really am getting fucked here. I didn't find any washroom at all. No convenience stores. I've been walking for a while, not even one. And I finally found a drink machine, and I'm out of 1,000 yen bills, it turns out. I've only got a 50, and the machines here don't take Suica cards, and it wouldn't accept my 100 yen coin. That is so rare. It's so rare that a machine doesn't read a coin. But I was like, oh, darn, that didn't work, because I really do want like a sports drink for this super hot day. I don't really want coffee. So then I came to this other machine, and it has Pocari Sweat. But the Pocari Sweat is 180 yen, and I only have 170. And my $50 bill and my Suica card, and I'm just staring at it, and I'm like, bro, come on. This never happens in Japan. I've never been stymied like this, and it's so hot out, I'm dying. I did see, though, that the big highway that goes along the beach, it's one of those big, like toll roads. I went under it and came up right at a point where there's the big massive line of toll stuff. I hear about those all the time with people who drive in Japan, that apparently if you want to get anywhere in an expedient fashion, you got to pay for these tolls. Oh, there's Aquarius, 180. Oh, man, you're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls. Wait a sec, what is this stuff? Real gold. This is only 140. And it's a smaller can, but that could be a good thing anyway. I don't know what that is, but let's try it. I need to get something. I'm dying here. Nice, it read my coin. But yeah, apparently if you don't want to pay for the tolls, you got to take back roads and stuff. This is Georgia coffee machine, right? Coca-Cola, yeah. So real gold. This could be anything. Let's see. Oh, perfect. That worked out great, because this is, yeah, some kind of a sports drinky type thing. Something Gatorade adjacent. But it's in a small can, which is also good, because I just need to make it to the next station. I don't want to kill myself with a gigantic 600 milliliter bottle of liquid, so this is actually better. It all turned out in the end, and I got to learn what real gold is. Vaguely, I don't actually know what it is. Anyway, it's a little after 2 in the afternoon. I think it's almost 2:30. And I think I'm gonna call it here. I think this is plenty. I think my energy levels are such that I'm sure I could keep going, but why? All I've got lined up ahead of me is walking down more beach, and then from the next station I was like, oh, there could be more beach there. And then my original plan was just to go one station west of Enoshima and walk down the beach. I already walked down plenty of beaches today, I'm good. So thank you for joining me. I hope my tales of sitting on a Japanese toilet were instructive in some way. And I will see you next episode. Adios. Here's a little bonus bit. I'm just approaching Chinatown, walking through Yokohama, and I never thought to bring this up because it's the absence of something. You know, it's kind of hard to notice the absence of something. Somebody just honked their horn, and it was because some other dude was like literally on a different planet. It was fucking ludicrous. This guy backed up half a block through an intersection, then stopped like in a, as though he had just arrived at that intersection to check all his stuff before he turned the corner. And it was like, what in the hell are you doing? How in God's name is that the right thing to do, instead of just continue on and find a different route to where you were trying to get to? So the guy behind him briefly honks, because it's like, buddy, you are on a different planet right now. You need to get your fucking head straight. And that made me realize, in all this time, the almost 3 months I've been here, I can think of like 3 times, including that one, that I've heard someone honk their horn. if someone honks their horn around here, it's because something has gone seriously wrong. And I mean, I guess that just ties into basic politeness culture and like being quiet on the subways and all that stuff. Because that also brought back a memory I'd long repressed. One of the things I hated so much about New York is that they would not stop honking their horns. Even out where I lived in quiet-ass Queens, I don't even know how it was possible. There wasn't even that much traffic, and there was just honking horns all the time. All the time. It made me so angry. So that's another bonus to Japan. Not a ton of honking horns. Delightful.